So hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna develop another mental model that we should grasp, since mental models are representations about how the reality and as much more you grasp them, higher is the probability of you getting a higher ability to be a decision maker, which I ultimately believe is the best skill that you should get fully developed to get so what you want. And what every human wants is prosperity, and prosperity requires you so to take the best actions depending the context that you are. And for that requires having interpretation, requires having courage to take actions. And this so requires having decision making to select whatever is the hypotheses that are created in your mind the best one so that you should take. That's so the importance of decision making as one of the most fundamental skills, as well probably creativity. So but then how we develop decision making? You develop by working in principles. So what are patterns that are truth, what are like information that are truthful, what as well are systems that you systematically can use because they are the best ways to absorb and interpretation so about the data that you got from the reality. But then so we should look for how to develop, where to grasp information, the best one as possible, patterns that have been shown that as truth. Mental model work right there. Mental models are patterns that we see and we take as the abstract concepts that we see so in certain specific situations and events that has happened in our history. These all work in by as well being systems to make interpretations, as it is bulletproof problem solving to solve problems. But then so we're gonna talk about the thing that is today the concepts that's taken from business. That's the Peter principle. When promotions lead incompetence, a pattern that we have seen that sometimes promotions is a course. But then so go for the video. So what you see in many organizations, you might have already noticed that some managers don't seem to perform as well as you had expect based in their exterior. This phenomenon can be so explained by the Peter principles that so says that the employees are promoted based on their success in previous roles until they reach a level where they can no longer perform effectively, and then so they not go promoted, and then so they are stuck in a job that they are not good, and so the whole organization becomes inefficient. We with working with incentives, I tend to say that so I want to promote people based on the performance. But what happens if I base it if I base it so this system that I promote people, if they work well, what happens? If they start not getting promoted, means that probably they're in the job that they're not performing well. And sometimes it's a paradox. It's better to not promote even if it can be perceived as incentive and remain so people working in what they're performing well, instead of thinking that they're going to remain having the same performance if they go so upgraded for a new type of position. So it's basically the Peter principle explained happens, and whole business can mitigate so the negative effects of having this tendency. But then so Peter principles explain concept in management theory, which suggests that in hierarchical organizations every employee tends to rise to their level of incompetence. So the idea is employees are promoted for their performance in their current role, not necessarily for their potential in the new role. Eventually, so they reach positions where their skills are no longer a good match, leading so to inefficiency. But then, so why does the Peter principle occur? The promotion criteria we adopting. Promotions are often based on past performance rather than on the skills required for the new role. Lack of training. Many organizations fail to provide adequate training for new roles, leaving promoted employees unprepared. Organizational structure in rigid hierarchies. Employees climb the ladder until they reach a point where their abilities plateau. Real world examples of how we can see these pattern principles so being present. Corporate management, a top performing salesperson might be promoted to a managerial position without the necessary leadership skills, resulting in poor team performance. Government and public sector, in some cases dedicated public servants, are promoted to bureaucratic roles where decision making becomes inefficiency. Technology companies as well. A brilliant engineer, and this is something that happens a lot in these tech companies. A brilliant engineer might be elevated to a management role where the skill set shifts from technical expertise to people management, and it leads to suboptimal outcomes. Then, we understand it, we now tend to look for strategies to mitigate the Peter principles. So, how to make this not happen? So, what are the strategies that you could develop? Some of them I have developed to make this video. Skill-based promotions, assess employees on their potential to perform in higher roles, not just their success in current positions. We have two, training and development. Invest in leadership and management training to prepare employees for the challenges of new roles. Lateral moves. Consider lateral moves or specialized roles that allow talented individuals to contribute without necessarily climbing the traditional hierarchy. Regular performance reviews, so implement comprehensive evaluations that could consider both current performance and future potential, and you could as well look for mentorship programs, so pair high potential employees with experienced mentors to guide them through transitions. So could be ways to do it, and so it's like a paradox. You're working based in incentives where you have to understand if it's so the incentive that you are created, that in that case is promotion, people feel motivated by power, and what leads sometimes that even if it increases the performance in short term, this creates a system effect that people so will tend to get rise to positions that if they stop to get promoted is because probably they're not being the best that they are in that job, and they will also be well educated, better located for other previous jobs that they were being doing it. And then so obviously this incentive in long medium term, they create bad type of benefits that will not so the thing that you will pretend, because initially you were creating incentives to increase productivity, but in long term this incentive creates as well inefficiency that was so the type of thing that you were trying to not exist. And then so it's something that you have to do, it's something that you have to accept, but so it's something that you have to take awareness that comes with you understanding second consequences of your actions and not just think about the first consequence. It's another mental model that we should look, that is the second order effects of your actions, and the main skill that you were awarded as a human species, the ability to think in front, think in second, third scenarios of your actions, is what so makes you be rational. Rational is about so sometimes not falling in short-term pleasers and relying more in other type of options that you need still to develop that are better in long term, even if they require so effort to build, that's probably more harder than to create so this type of promotion incentive system in your business. So the key takeaways that I would say you to take: the Peter principles, why it explains why many promotions eventually lead to roles where employees are less effective. Rethinking promotion strategies, investing in training and encouraging lateral growth can help organizations combat these issues, and by aligning skills with roles, business can maintain efficiency and foster a culture of continuous development. So I expect this video as make you gain insights. I expect that you have liked enough so to put a like in this video and subscribe, and if other videos in this channel may trigger your interest to gain more insights about the world and improving your decision making, I expect so that you can free enough to do it. So without much more to say, thank you and see you in the next one.